All right. All right. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Mr. Sean.
this is our last work session, so I told Mike you could just have all the time you want, but now we can't do that for Oliver. Oliver talked too long.
Well, Mr. Sean,
Yes, sir.
in the interest of, I'm sure a room, well, not quite a room full of folks, but a good number of folks who want to get on
Chief?
with their Friday, we're going to turn it back over to you.
Wait a minute. I do not believe this.
But now, Monday's Monday, so we don't mind prolonging Monday, but we're going to let Friday
Oh,
go.
my God.
You don't get twice
Miss
as
Tyler,
much
did you see
time
that?
on Monday because you're shorter.
See that? I was trying to run it like they do school board meetings, where you stick to the business.
thought I saw him a minute ago.
All right, any council member? Now, Rose, you can take all the time you need.
No, I'm gonna have my time on Monday.
Wow. We'll let you hear that, huh? All right, you better bring your little music or something. Okay, Jeff?
No, I'm good today. Thank
Yeah,
you very
Jeff
much.
says he's happy. All right. Since Ron is making his entrance, Ron, we're gonna wait and this is our last, I was telling, this is our last work session, so just take all the time you need.
Thank you. What you want to know?
Oh, any communication from you?
Anything you want to do? Anything you want to share?
Not today. Maybe Monday.
All right, Mike?
I think I'm good today. I will recognize that it's Councilman Everson's birthday today.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oliver, you got 2 minutes.
I don't have it. Unlike other times, I don't.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir?
I would note, just in case anyone is interested, we do have two teams of Louisiana football all-stars who have been here in Shreveport, I believe, since Wednesday, practicing out at Independence Stadium. They've had a chance to see themselves up on that glorious new scoreboard that has recently been installed, and they will play an all-star football game, East against West, tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock at Independence Stadium. So we'll encourage any of you all who are interested to come out.
I will
and cheer
be
them on.
there. I will be there with the umbrella I got yesterday at the groundbreaking. What's happening?
Quite a different exit strategy.
No, he's really fine. I saw him, he just mistakenly.
Plugging in my cell phone there, buddy.
That just reminded me, Mr. Mayor.
That's the difference in a good exit.
Dale,
I mean, he's fine.
when, about the Independence Bowl.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, I refer to the
Man,
We will be delivering the usual allotment of tickets to the council office for council members, as well as providing the allotment for council members elect as well.
great. Great. And that would be, what, Monday?
That will be Monday, yes.
Okay.
If they aren't already packaged and ready to go today, certainly for Monday's council meeting.
That'll be great. Okay. That sounds good. How about our city attorney back there? I'm told that she's a great football fan.
Is she?
Miss Scott.
I think she is a fan of football and also, I believe, of the SEC. But more specifically, I think that she is unfortunately a bigger fan of that small cat that resides down in Baton Rouge. That's also one that both she and Councilman Sam Jenkins are very fond of as well, that managed to pull out just a squeaker of a victory at this past Bayou Classic. But
They did, but I think,
we don't hold that against her.
okay, but I think the SEC is something you don't get a chance to see very often, not in person. So, I'm hoping that we will have a good turnout from the surrounding areas. Yeah, I hope we have a good turnout from the surrounding area. Because if the turnout is real good, we're gonna try to get some SEC teams here next year, Miss Tyler. You and Mr. Bradford sitting right next to you. Fine young man.
Great
His
last
dad
name.
and I used to teach together on the Cooper Road, and that was before, and that Rose complaining about the streets up there now, but that was before they had mud and dirt on the way up to Lanier. That was a long time ago.
Thanks to Hershey Wilson.
Yeah.
Well,
They're not like that anymore.
no,
They just need
no.
repairing.
Well, not only up there, we had them out there in Moortown. Shit.
Well, you directed it to Cooper Road. I'm Cooper Road.
Well, I'm Shreveport.
Okay, well, we dealing with what you brought to the table.
Now, I brought it to the table because
You brought Cooper Road to the table, Joe Shine.
I brought it to the table because his dad and I talked together on the Cooper Road. I made my living up there.
And Hershey Wilson fixed streets up there.
I didn't bring Hershey Wilson in on this.
But I did.
Well, I'm glad you did.
I think we
I'm
all
glad you did,
acknowledge
Miss
that
Wilson.
there's been improvements made, and
Yeah, I'm
we
glad you did,
appreciate
Miss
all
Wilson.
those
Thank you, Councilman
that played a
Shine.
part.
No, I wanted to give Rose an opportunity to
Thank you,
say whatever she
Councilman
wanted to
Shine.
say and
Thank
say
you,
it in a way that
Councilman
she
Shine.
wanted to say it. This is our last hoorah.
I'm saying thank you, Councilman Shine.
You are quite welcome, Miss Wilson McCullough. All right, Miss Farnell, please. I didn't mean to rush you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we ready? If you have anything you'd like to say, if anybody have any questions or concerns for Miss Farnell, please.
Ms. Farnell, Mr. Andrews, of course, you know, he's still communicating with me regarding the decision that was passed by this council.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I called your office several times to get some directives on the actual 30-day appeal. And of course, as a result of, I guess, talking with the legal's office, I was able to direct him over on, what is that, 401 Texas or Murphy Street? I mean,
Texas Street.
Right,
First
right.
JDC.
right.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
so he's going to be interested in pursuing a 30-day appeal, so he was wanting to know if there was anything else he needed from the city, and of course I explained to him that we were finished with that.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And
We'll
so-
wait to receive that,
Right.
his appeal.
Well, I just wanted you to know that he is interested in a 30-day appeal.
Bring it down.
Okay.
Start it when you finish.
Okay.
Yes?
I'd like, since I don't see anybody here from, not related to property standards, but it made me remind, so it's not for you, Bill. But I guess I'm going to direct it over to Dale, but this is about, but it may also be Barbara, but I don't see Stan in here. So this is about Jordan Street off of Elizabeth, which right now is bare. First of all, I think they've re-poured the cement, but now they need to do the overlay.
Is it a panel replay or?
No, it must have been in water and sewer. I think it was a water main or a sewer main.
There's a water main.
Water main, then they've capped it about 2 weeks ago, and it really needs the actual overlay over the top of it because it's blocking 2 lanes of traffic, and you know, it's basically, certainly in this weather, it's a little bit of a problem of
You're talking
visibility.
about
and
right there
getting-
by Specialist Hospital?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
so,
can-
I think it just needs, is the way it looks like, it just needs a, overlay over the top of the cement that was poured in there. So
It sounds like
I
something
assume
we
it's
have
not in her department, I assume it's over to streets and drainage.
It may be
but-
something we actually have a contractor working on that Barbara can speak to.
It's not, it's Streets and Drainage that does the overlay for us. This is one of the repairs that we had permitted through them, and we've asked for a schedule, and as soon as I get that schedule, I've told them it needs to be replaced.
Okay,
What was it?
maybe is it, the first week or so, I kind of held them off.
Thought it was
but
good,
now-
yeah, exactly.
But now I'm having a little more trouble holding them off at this point. So, and since I didn't see Stan in here, I wanted to put it out there.
Okay, I'll get with Stan.
Okay, thank you. I guess, Jeff, it's over to you.
Got the wheel.
Yeah, sorry, do we have the next reports today? Are we going to be getting a revenue collection?
No, we'll do revenue connections at the
second?
1st January.
Yeah.
Correct.
And then are we going to have a master plan committee report tomorrow?
Councilman Everson, I think Mr. Sweeney's also prepared just to give us a little background information on what is going on at MPC about mobile homes. If he
That's
could
right.
do that at this time as well.
All right. Where are we? Okay.
The MPC
That's
master
good.
plan report.
I really don't have a master plan report at this time, but I will segue right into the topic that Michael made reference to about mobile homes. I don't know if you have a copy of this in front of you. You may have. What happened was the ZBA was basically having a very difficult time trying to decide when to approve and when not to approve a mobile home, because the guidelines seemed to be somewhat erratic and were not consistent. So one of the things I did, I introduced to them back on their December 10th ZBA meeting, was a checklist of combining what's required out of the ordinance along with what I call guidelines of what I call good planning practices or principles anytime you're trying to site a mobile home on a property. And this checklist kind of gave them some level of consistency and direction. And it doesn't necessarily answer all the questions, because I'll be honest with you, when it comes to mobile homes, because the ordinance was changed some time ago to give that authority over to the ZBA, there's been still a lot of confusion. And I know that one of the things that I've asked our consultants, Camiros, to do is to do an in-depth study and analysis about mobile homes, manufactured housing, and modular homes to give us better definitions and to create a pathway for us through the UDC that addresses this issue once and for all for both the ZBA and the MPC and the City Council. So that's the kind of the ultimate goal, is to get there. In a kind of a Band-Aid attempt, I provided this checklist for the ZBA at this last meeting on December the 10th. And it actually did help them. It gave them structured thinking in terms of what should be required and what is basically a guideline. I'll give you an example if I'm looking at this checklist. For example, that a unit has to have HUD seal established for the mobile home. That is a requirement. But then we also ask the questions, which is not a requirement, are there existing mobile homes in the neighborhood? Because when you approve a mobile home, you're establishing a precedent for that neighborhood.
That's true.
It also says, is the mobile home, asks the question, which is a guideline as well, is the mobile home a double wide or greater? If not, it's a single wide. Does the mobile home, is it sited so that it's parallel to the street, more like a regular single-family house where it faces the street and it's not perpendicular? That's a factor that they weigh. That's a guideline. Are there mobile homes already existing on the property? That's a factor. Are there other structures existing on the property? In other words, accessory buildings, greenhouses, whatever. And then we ask the question, if located, and this is a requirement, if located outside the Shreveport city limits, the applicant has provided evidence of water and sewage connections permissions at the site. And that's an important thing that has to always be provided and is required. We then go, again, this is a guideline, the next one is, are there photos of the mobile home provided? In other words, actual pictures of an existing unit, or if they're proposing to put one in, a picture of the model that they're proposing to put in. Then here's another requirement. We ask, is there a hard surface driveway with 2 parking spaces shown on the site plan? And then we qualify that by saying that if it's outside the city limits, an alternate paving service may be considered for driveways that are an excessive length beyond the parking space requirement. The other thing that is also required is the mobile home meet the setback requirements. That's important. Another requirement, does it have skirting? That's another factor that is required in our ordinance. And then we offer another optional element, which is a guideline, is are there enhancements that are provided, such as additional landscaping, bay windows, porches, and other architectural features that are added to the mobile home to make it look more adaptable to the neighborhood. Now, that's not everything that everybody wants, but that's the list that the ZBA used back on December 10th, and they felt as though it gave them some structure by which to make decisions. I still emphasize that we need to go further into this and address other issues, but this right now seems to be what seems to work for them. And I'm sharing this with you because I know there's 2 cases you have on your agenda, and you might want to use this checklist as a barometer to help you. Now, what I'm trying to do is that when an applicant comes in now, I give them a copy of this checklist, so they already know what we're looking for. It's not a surprise. And that way, my planners, whenever an application comes in, can sit down and go over the checklist with each applicant. That kind of helps improve the communication lines and that we get a consistency of design and layout. Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Sure.
I had one a couple of weeks ago. I think you were here when.
Yes.
And she has since applied
Right.
and will be coming on the February 11 agenda. I was hearing that they were going to require that the mobile home actually be on a concrete slab. Is that true, or is that's not on a checklist?
Typically, it is, but we know that skirting is the required thing.
Yeah, I can understand the skirting. That's good. I like everything you have on here, but I know this particular piece of property that this lady has, and
Right.
do they still make a tour to the properties before the meetings, or is that just if they so desire?
No, we don't do that. That
Okay.
actually stopped before I ever came on board. And part of the reason is we couldn't get everybody together in time, and most people couldn't attend the
The
tours.
reason I asked that, it would probably be a good idea if she brought these so-called pictures that you're in reference to the ZBA to show that she has the mobile home set up and how it is, and if she can get skirting on it between now and February 11th. I don't know whether she has skirting on it or not, but that would be a good idea.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because there at one time was one, and then she has that one neighbor directly behind her that has a mobile home on the property as well. So if she can bring a picture of that, that'd probably,
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely. I'm just trying to make it so that we're trying to be fair to everybody
Right.
and show the same standards to everybody that walks in the door.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, sir.
For the 2 that are on there, would somebody, I mean, maybe it's going to be obvious when I look in these packs, but it isn't the one that I've looked through. Could somebody go through, somebody in your office, use that checklist and show which ones of those meet the criteria?
Well, I'll go back to what I said a minute ago. This was introduced December the 10th, and these cases predate December 10th.
No. Can somebody on the staff?
Oh, absolutely, we can do that.
I mean, we have pictures in here, but I don't know if we're going to be able to tell whether they're skirting on there. I mean,
Sure.
the rest of it. So, I mean, that one, it's clear it's skirting which way it's facing or not. But it'd be very helpful since you have that checklist.
Yeah,
Somebody has the
absolutely.
originals to these docs to go through and say, this is good to go, and does not
Sure.
have that.
So would you like for us to do that for you for Monday?
For Monday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to send her an email or something.
Okay,
Don't
we
you
can
think
do
everybody would
that.
like- It's not very clear doing it off these pictures.
Yeah, it's not.
The case that we took up at our last meeting, that mobile home was already in place.
Yes,
These 2 cases, these 2 appeals, the mobile home is not
that
on
is
the
true.
property yet. The pictures that are in our packet are sales brochure pictures,
Yeah.
basically.
I got you.
Yeah, I mean,
I just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
Before you go, let me ask, James, Willie, and Jerry if they have any
I didn't realize until I-
concerns about mobile homes, because they're gonna face that. Y'all are gonna face that. You're gonna have somebody who wanna put a mobile home. And if you don't do it, they gonna leave with a dip of snuff in their mouth. So, do you have any more of those the little checklists that you gave us?
I can give these copies if I have them in my office. If anybody wants them, they can have one.
Why don't you,
I can email it to her.
Oh,
you can
okay.
email it to them?
This means
I have to go out to
it doesn't meet the criteria
Okay.
facing the front.
Okay, please do that. The little checklist so y'all can start looking at it, because you're gonna have that.
I mean, I can do it.
And it's best for you to nip some things in the bud than let it go on. let me tell. Jerry, Artie's gonna email you some information about, people putting mobile homes in the neighborhood, and you're gonna need to take and look at it so you be on top of it when they come, because if you don't do it, they're gonna be a little mad with you. So you know what to tell them. Okay, Mr. Thompson, we have no public hearing on the agenda, right?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Adding legislation to the agenda.
I'm not aware of any items, Mr. Chairman, to be added.
Okay. I came in with a young lady. Is she still back there?
Stepped up with Ms. Barnell.
She's doing the property standards.
I don't really think her case was property standards. I think it's more,
Looks like she might have.
yeah, water and sewage. Did you talk to her, Barbara?
Yes, sir. I spoke to her.
Okay, well, that's fine. Going on. And, I mean, what did y'all come to?
Her, we had done a water main repair, and of
Right.
course, you know, we make a little mess when we do water main repairs, and she was
Right.
concerned about her yard and her driveway, and she showed me pictures, and I was just typing up an email to staff to make sure they got that taken care of, and contacted her with a schedule for those repairs.
Please. And,
We made a little bit of a mess, as we usually do.
right. And Barbara, I would hope that whoever go out there, they kind of wait until they kind of dry a little bit.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because, you know, it's hard
It's
fixing up
difficult.
somebody's yard.
We'll have to put sod down, and it's difficult to get sod right now.
That right.
But we will, I told her we would get it taken care of and take care of the driveway. If we made it, any, you know, tore up her driveway, we'll get that taken care of. We
Please.
made a mess.
Now, and let me say this. I don't mean no harm, and I don't want to be whistleblowing on anybody, but she said that some of the workers came out there was kind of laughing at it and going on, and I know
She
Miss
mentioned
Tyler
that to
hears
me,
this
and
too.
I will have the appropriate discussions with staff.
Right, and that, because that makes all of us look bad
It's
when you got
inappropriate.
employees that would do that.
Absolutely, it's
Right.
inappropriate. She discussed that with me, and I will take care of it.
You know, now I don't want to get them in trouble,
No?
but just make sure that they don't do that, because I won't be down here, but, you know, people will still be looking at me as being a part of the city, so, please
No,
take
I will
care
have
of
that taken care of, yes, sir.
Thank you, Bob. Okay, Jackie, give some of these to Jerry, and I tell you, you might want to give one to Miss Tyler, too.
They have.
They got copies, y'all got copies. Thank you very much. Okay, Dale,
Yes, sir.
confirmation of appointments, do we have any?
We have none, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. All right, Dale, we're in your all-state hands.
This is
Good hand.
Section 8 consent agenda legislation. There are no items on for introduction. There is one item on for adoption, Resolution 234. It accepts dedication for Woodbury Avenue and Sweetleaf Avenue and Montessori School in Providence, otherwise providing with respect thereto.
All right, any questions?
Section 9, regular agenda legislation. These are resolutions on second reading and final passage, or which will require only one reading. Resolution 233 authorizes the execution of the cooperative endeavor agreement between the City of Shreveport, the Shreveport Garden Study Club Incorporated, and Kilpatrick Roseneath Funeral Homes, Crematorium, and Cemeteries Incorporated, and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. There is one amendment.
Okay, what is the amendment, sir?
That amendment,
The corrective language is
It's a
substituting.
cooperative endeavor agreement, I think. At least
Yeah,
what the email
and it's
looked like.
substituting some language for what was attached to the original.
it looks to be a very, very technical.
Right, now Dale, you see, you're not the only somebody named Dale Sibley.
Oh, really? I'm glad he knew the answer, Mr.
Okay.
Johnson. I don't mind.
Okay, let's roll, Dale.
Resolution 235 declares the city's interest in certain adjudicated properties as surplus. This is regarding districts F and G.
No, not for me. Sam is not here. I think, Oliver got Sam running an errand.
Continue, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Resolution 236 declares the city's interest in certain adjudicated properties as surplus. This is regarding districts A, F, and G.
Mrs. McCullough.
I was, I think it's 237 that I was more concerned about. I'm okay here.
Okay. Resolution 237 declares certain adjudicated property to be surplus, which will authorize the mayor to sell the city of Shreveport's tax interest in these adjudicated properties, and this is regarding districts A, B, F, and G.
And the reason why I'm concerned is, I notice there's always a breakdown and a description by districts, you know, when it comes to itemizing adjudicated properties, but I noticed with 237, it just indicated, you know, adjudicated properties and the names of the council persons listed versus the actual location. So I guess that's just something new that we're doing now versus listing the streets or.
The last
Mr.
page,
Sibley,
last page
could-
of your backup, if you look at it.
Could you give her that information or tell her what she could put a thing on it?
Well, there is an attachment, A6, at the bottom of the legislation that lists them.
Okay.
as-
This,
I see it. I see
may
it.
be a just at this moment situation, but I can't open any of the attachments on my agenda today. I'm not sure if that's a,
Operator error.
Okay.
yeah,
I
could
see.
be me. Something might be
Yeah.
set wrong, but they're not opening. So.
Mine are, so I don't think it's in the system. I think it's gotta be some email in your computer.
Yeah, I see
You
it.
think it's
Just
gotta be the
refresh it.
operator?
If not,
You
we'll
need
get
to show
Connie
them how to
to
use
call.
those
Oh, it's on.
technologies.
Wait a minute, Oliver.
I'm good now.
You knew.
You were an IT teacher, weren't you?
Yeah.
Weren't you the
Oliver.
IT
You
teacher?
and Mike.
Resolution 238, Mr. Chairman.
His mic's so messy. Yes.
Resolution 238 declares the intention of the city of Shreveport to proceed with the issuance of not to exceed $72 million street improvement bonds in one or more series for the purpose of financing the cost of constructing, paving, and improving public streets in the city, including utilities relocation and incidental sewer and drainage work required thereby, make an application to the Louisiana State Bond Commission for approval of such bonds, and otherwise providing with respect thereto.
Move to Thursday. Is that what we're doing now?
Yep.
Move to Thursday?
Move with the
Come on, that was Resolution 238.
Okay.
Under Section B, Mr. Chairman, there are no items.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. Go ahead on.
Okay. There are no items
I
on.
thought I
for-
saw Willie's hand go, but that's it. But go ahead on.
Under Section B, there are no items on for introduction, no resolutions on for introduction. Under Section C, ordinances on for introduction not to be adopted prior to January 13, 2014. Ordinance 166 closes and abandons a portion of the alley dedication in the 300 block of East Merrick Street in the Bowman Lane subdivision, Section 5, Caddo Parish.
Lost my,
All right. Jeff?
Jackie. Excuse me, Jackie. I need
Good
some
with moving
assistance
forward
my
on that one.
computer.
We have to wait till the following meeting before we make any final vote on it. So.
Okay.
Ordinance 167 is zoning matter C-6814. It amends Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances by rezoning property located on the northwest corner of Pinnock Street and Hearn Avenue, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, Louisiana, changed from B1 Buffer Business District and R2 Suburban Multifamily Residence District to B1 Buffer Business District with site plan approval.
Jeff?
Good to go on it.
Good to go.
Happy with it. If anybody has any questions, I think we've reviewed it before.
Okay, please.
Ordinance
Yeah.
168 is zoning matter C-8714. It amends Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances by rezoning property located on the west side of Centel Street, 370 feet south of Dalton Street, Shreveport, Caddo Parish, Louisiana, from R1D, Urban One Family Residence District, to B2A, Business Park District with site plan approval.
All right. Ron?
I don't have any comments on it today. I haven't made a trip over there yet, but I'll know Monday.
Okay, and
Mr. Chairman,
James?
I don't believe these can be adopted until January 13th.
I know, but I just want to know.
Okay.
Until the 13th, correct?
We call that a
January.
pass a buck item.
Okay.
James, you better go look at it.
Yeah, James, you might want to go take a look at
I
it.
was over here commenting that they're gonna have to change the names when it comes to the time that they vote on the deal.
Yeah.
Ordinance
I
1...
was wanted to say, this is passing the buck. Or like somebody said, kicking the can
Approve
down
it
the
Monday if
road.
you want us to.
Ordinance 169 is zoning matter C-8914. It amends Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances by rezoning property bounded by Ledbetter, Earl, Wallace, and Hickory Streets, Hattie Perry Recreation Center and Park, Shreveport, Cattle Parish, Louisiana. Change from R1D, Urban One Family Residence District, to B1, Buffer Business District for indoor and outdoor park facilities use.
Jeff?
This one, I mentioned to the new council members, this may come up in the future, because, so what we found when we went to do the renovations at Hattie Perry Park is that many of our parks never received the zoning designation as a park. They were just left whatever the zoning designation was before. And so this is our first attempt to address that now that we've got a new director in MPC and they're looking at this a little closer. They've come up with this as an interim solution. Once the Unified Development Code is adopted, hopefully there will be a special designation for public facility parkland. In the meantime, this is our identified as our best course of action to go to get these park facilities dedicated as what they really are. This one, for instance, was still dedicated as residential land. It clearly isn't a residence, and it hasn't been for 40 years. So, so that's just a little background on this, and this is our first example of it. We'll probably see a few more.
I think a little history on that. This lady was Dale. This lady was a school teacher, and the kids over in that area needed a place to play ball. And this was her land, and she just gave it to the city, Shelley, back when you and I both were in diapers. So we were quite young back during that time, and that's how that park came about. Okay, Dale, I'm sorry. Next one.
Ordinance 170 is zoning matter C-9014.
Now, I'm not that old, Dale, so don't think I was back there with her during that time. I was not teaching with her back during that time.
Zoning matter C-9014 amends Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances by rezoning property located on the northwest side of Mayfair Drive at the intersection of Fenwick Drive, Shreveport, Cattle Parish, Louisiana. Change from R1D, Urban One Family Residence District, to B1, Buffer Business District for indoor and outdoor park facilities use, and this one is in District A.
And this is a
No,
result of, this is actually us expanding the recreation center, an expansion to the recreation center. So
This has Mrs. McCullough's name. That's not
fine.
A.
Oh, that's not?
No,
Okay.
it's just an expansion to the recreation center.
Right.
At Mamie Hicks.
Okay. Ordinance 171 is zoning matter C-9214. It amends Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances by rezoning property located on the southwest corner of Milton Street and Murtis Avenue, Shreveport, Cattle Parish, Louisiana. Change from R1D, Urban One Family Residence District, to R2, Suburban Multifamily Residence District, with site plan approval, and this one's in District G.
Okay.
Ordinance 172 amends the 2015 Downtown Parking Enterprise Fund budget.
$10 richer this week.
This is, I think we mentioned this at the last meeting. This was an expected amendment to add parking meters.
Correct.
Okay.
I offered my Christmas contribution last week, so.
I
Wow.
have as well. I have as a few of them this month,
It
actually.
was a sad day
And,
when they captured me 5 minutes late.
Miss Scott, from Oliver, the kind of money he makes,
Listen,
I'm glad.
I go
Don't
in
let
there.
him bring it to you here.
I'm gonna
He
tell you
makes
what,
plenty of money.
it's a $10 parking ticket. I don't know where you can get a cheaper parking ticket than $10. I just file it out and say, well, hopefully implement some changes next time.
I'm glad, Dale, that we don't have any parking meters out in my area. It's $10 for my folks would be, woo, that might be Christmas.
And compared to any other town,
Okay.
$10
Going on, Dale, thank you.
Okay.
yeah.
Section,
This might be a good time to remind council members of a council rule. It says any matter pending at the time of adjournment of the council at the last meeting in the current term of office of its members shall die and shall not automatically be included on the next agenda. However, any matter may be continued and placed on the next agenda by a vote of the majority of the members present and voting. So there are a number of places where we probably need a motion to continue and to place on the January 13th agenda, or to postpone until that time or whatever the motion happens to be.
Okay, well, now let me ask you this. If there's anything on the agenda now that I would move to postpone, does that mean it would die? You know, since...
Well, we just
since-
want to be clear that the motion is to postpone and to place it on the January 13th agenda, so there won't be any question about it.
Well, I suppose I might not want it placed on the next agenda. I just might want to postpone it.
It would die otherwise, right, Art?
It would die. Okay.
I think if there wasn't a motion to put it on the next agenda.
Yeah,
it would
right.
die- it
I
would
mean,
die
I'd have to
automatically.
make the motion, right?
Right.
Okay, that's...
But like on the introduction items specifically, we need tomorrow somebody to make a motion to continue them.
Yes,
I mean,
Or Monday.
to introduce the item and
And-
to place it on the
Would you,
agenda
for the
January.
January, okay.
would you be responsible for that, Oliver?
I will take that under my hand.
And we-
Since you are a fighter pilot.
Would that be all of
And,
the
and Ja-
items
and
under
James, you
C?
learn that don't mess with a
think
fighter
so.
That would be under
pilot.
C? Okay.
Section D,
Okay,
Mr.
please.
Chairman. Section D is ordinances on second reading and final passage. There's one, ordinance 157. It declares the city's interest in certain vacant lots as surplus and our intention to donate certain vacant lots acquired by community development for Phase 3 of Concordia Place development to Habitat for Humanity of Northwest Louisiana Incorporated. This matter is not to be adopted before December 22nd.
Yeah?
This is for the donation of some surplus land that we have in the Sterner Hill area to go to Habitat for Humanity for them to build some additional housing in the area. It's a complement to something we've already started with the Fuller Center, the Veterans Build, where we've built some housing for veterans in the area, which is very close to the Veterans Hospital. And so this continues the progress of filling back in some of the empty lots in that community.
And they do an excellent job.
They are.
They do an excellent
And
job.
we thank the partners over there and the community development for spearheading this. They've done a really good job on it.
Mr. Bradford, if you're not familiar with that group, you need to. They do an excellent job for the city of Shreveport.
Ordinances on second reading and final passage not to be adopted prior to January 13th, and I would think these would fall under the provision that Mr. Thompson just covered. Ordinance 163 closes and abandons an alley to the east of Missouri Avenue and north of Greenwood Road in Block 9 of the Queensboro Annex in Section 10, otherwise provides with respect thereto. Ordinance 164 amends and reenacts certain sections of Chapter 94 of the Code of Ordinances relative to utilities. And Ordinance 165 declares certain paint acquired by the Department of Community Development for the Paint Your Heart Out Shreveport program and the World Changers program as surplus, declaring the city's intention to properly dispose of or donate the surplus paint to certain nonprofit organizations, subject to certain conditions, and to otherwise provide with respect thereto. And that concludes the scheduled legislation, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions or concerns? If not, Mr. Thompson, would you please take over from here?
On the table items, in accordance with the rule that I just read, unless there's a motion to place one of these items on the agenda for January the 13th, they will just die and go away, and they will not appear on the new agenda. Under the property standards... of-
One question on that,
Okay.
since you mentioned it. That MBI Global LLC lease thing, is that I mean, did we implement that? At least, I'd love to hear y'all's opinion on it tomorrow and ask us, I'm happy to,
I would,
if y'all need.
Because I said Thursday, but Monday.
I would suggest you make the appropriate motion on Monday to be able to carry it over and allow it to be placed back on the table so it is available as a vehicle if and when it
At
may
a
be
future
needed.
date. Yeah, I didn't know if the actions we had taken, whatever it was, 2 sessions ago, have obviated, or this is still potentially a need. Okay.
Correct.
And obviously, I know there's other parts of it that are going in different buildings downtown right now. So that's the only one I saw that, obviously, it wouldn't be, it would be useful to keep going.
What about the parking legislation?
We can move forward with that. I mean, if there is some continued discussion on that, there's been some interim solutions that seem to be improving the situation, but if there is the need to move forward, it will be something that looks different than what's there, so I think that's okay.
Mr. Shine, and on the property standards appeals, we would recommend a motion to continue all unresolved appeals and to place them on the January 13th agenda.
Okay, now I'll be happy to do that. That's January 13th,
Correct.
okay? All right, there are no ABO appeals?
We have some property standards appeals.
Right. We do have, I think, 4.
Yeah, okay, you're right.
They're waiting until after the Christmas cheer.
Is Dorothy here?
Dorothy?
Where's Dorothy? Okay.
In regard to the ABO.
Several
That was-
violations worked on in the next few weeks.
Yeah,
That was in regard not to property
Yeah.
standards, to the ABO.
yeah. Okay, Miss Dorothy?
Good afternoon. Our first case is going to be 277 West 71st Street. The owner is present. Mr. Gary Bass, Councilman Shine, this is in your area. This property came before you all on October the 27th.
Where's the owner?
The owner is present. Mr.
What about?
Come up, please, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, which one?
The owner is present, and you did give him 60 days in October to complete the structure?
I know he did it, didn't he?
No, sir, he did not. We still have the property, the seals. There has been nothing done on the outside, as you can see. We have a secondary structure.
Wow.
The structure looks just as it did on the outside as it did October the 27th. In fact, it looked the same way as it did
Well,
when
Dorothy,
we
he
first
mu-
wrote this up.
He must have been sick, because he looks like the kind of man who would believe in taking care of business. Were you sick?
No, sir, it wasn't. What happened was, is in between when all this was going on, I don't know if you remember, but when I bought this property, the stuff was sent to the original owner. And actually, I didn't come in here till like after Halloween is my first meeting here. And the house that you see, it wasn't like, I mean, that part right there is still like that because I started working inside the house. I didn't know that I had to, do everything on the outside of the house first or whatever, but I did pull off all the trim all the way around the house. I've replaced it, I've painted almost the entire house except that back part right there. And I've fixed the leaks in the roof because, of course, I had leaks inside too. And I replaced all the fascia board around the house too. So I have been working on it, but at the same time, I bought another house over in Queensboro that we're working on, that I promised the family I'd have them in there by this weekend, which I'm going to have them in here by this weekend. And we finished up yesterday, so we're starting back on this property tomorrow. And I got the beams on my truck right now to start replacing those beams so I can get that done.
Doctor, do we have some compassion left on him? Since this is coming up to the Christmas holidays.
What we can do, Councilman Shine, on this one, he started work on the inside of this structure.
He did.
But
I've already repainted the whole inside and put the
But
light
this-
fixtures up and everything.
But the problem is the outside. We have the beams, the joists, all of this needs to be repaired. He needs to do the rafter ends, the roof, replace the windows.
I fixed the roof.
There are the eaves. All of this needs to be replaced. So I would say let's give him 45 days. Property standards will monitor it to see if any work will be done on the outside, because that's what we're looking at, because this is what's going on now.
Okay. How about we would say this?
Yes, sir.
That's fine. I promised.
Hold it now. Let me finish. I'm gonna give you some additional time now if you don't talk yourself out of it.
Okay.
Instead of 45 days, let's give him 60 days and just send somebody by there about every 20 days to monitor it. And get his number where you can call them and remind them, because this is Christmas,
I appreciate it.
and I know this might not have very much to do with government, but I'm a Christian.
Yes, sir, I appreciate it.
That's why it's always good, James, that's why it's always good to elect Christians to office. Then you can get some compassion.
Yes, sir. Well, I promised the family I'd have it ready by the 15th next month, so they can move in, so I gotta jump on it.
All right. Well, we're gonna give you 60 days, but please, please, get to work on it and do something about it. Because if you don't, then it might be some folks that live in that area that are not Christians, and they're gonna be calling me.
Yes, sir, I promise I'll get it done.
Well, Willie, I won't be in
Shine.
office, though.
Mr. Shine, I would like to add to that. Now, he's stating that he's going to have a family in there by the 15th of next
I'm
month.
supposed to have it ready by the 15th next month.
Well, he's gonna be working day and night.
We're going to be looking at the seals
Please.
and everything, so that has to be replaced.
Right, yeah, well, the inspector told me to call him once I get them replaced before I seal up the wall, and told him I would.
Please, because don't let him put anybody in there looking like that.
Oh, no, sir.
All right.
Oh, it's gonna be done right.
All right. Thank you now.
Yes, sir.
You have a good
Appreciate
Christmas.
You want to vote?
Have a good Christmas.
Y'all too, have a
sorry.
good Christmas.
What's the,
60 days. Been moved, yeah, can I get?
I'll second.
Okay. Been moved and by the chair and second by Councilman Jenkins.
Sometimes the compassion overtakes the
That's right.
process. That
That's
happens.
right, it does.
You understand how that goes.
And you can thank Councilman Jenkins over there. No, right here, right here. See right here, for seconding. Passion has overtaken us.
Press it again, Mr. Shine.
I'm sorry. Passion is. Now, Willie, you remember that here? You have to show a little passion. All right, thank you. All right, next.
Our next case is 6143 Right Way Boulevard. It's in Councilman Shine's area. The owner is not present today. He had an accident, and he doesn't have anything to do but the west side of the structure of the house, which is that little part there. And I have agreed to give him 60 days, if it's okay with you.
Yeah, it's been
to
moved by the
complete
chair that we would give him 60 days, second by
Second.
Councilman Oliver Jenkins. All right.
that. Our next case is 2433 Willie Mays Street.
Dale, you hear that?
Present.
All of a sudden, the spirit is overtaking him.
Our owner, Mr. Carlos Bryant, Councilwoman McCullough, this is in your area. This is a burned structure. The owner wants to demolish it himself. I have spoken to him, and I'm willing to give him 45 days to complete the demolition of this. Property standards were monitored, of course, but he's here. Councilwoman McCullough, this is your case.
So, with the holidays approaching, could we give him 60 days?
I'll second that by the chair. It's been moved. You see how this compassion is going around?
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Contagious.
Yeah, it's contagious, yeah. Been moved by Councilwoman McCullough, second by the chair, that we would give him 60 days. All in favor, vote yes.
Make sure you come.
All right, Willie, that's in your area. You see how compassion is taking over. Christmas time.
Thank you, sir.
And Dale, Santa Claus, I've been a good boy this year.
It was a 6-0 vote.
Yeah, I'm sorry, 6-0 vote. I want a new pair of those Jordan tennis shoes that they tell me cost $280. Now, that's ridiculous.
You gonna shoot a little ball when
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot a little ball with it.
Put them in a safe. I mean,
as an
I'm on.
investment?
that's expensive.
Where's the chief? I'm gonna go with
Excuse me.
I'm gonna go with the Woodlawn. I'll take the chief over there with the Woodlawn. Might be able to get Mayor Glover to come over and shoot a little bit with us. See me dunk the ball. See me dunk the ball on Chief Shaw.
You don't want this double chocolate thunder dunk. I break it out with every MLK basketball tournament every year.
Oh, all right. Chief? Yeah, I did. we were just talking about, getting over the wood lawn and playing a little basketball. I told the mayor that I want to get you over there so I could dunk a film on you, and I said, I hope we could get him over there.
Oh, God.
Wait a minute, see if it ain't that bad, I know. Oh.
They started,
I'm gonna bring Archie Hall with me.
Bring Archie, he was there.
Yeah.
I saw him out here earlier.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little story about him. There was
Okay.
a dunk contest in 1980. People would ask Archie, are you gonna participate? He said, what for? Will's gonna win. Guess who won? He was right.
What? Dale, you hear that, huh?
Big chief.
All right. All right, Chief. All right. Yes,
Councilman Shine, we have one last case, and it is 3027 Valley Ridge. It is in your area. This is a structure that we wrote it up for care premise because they had removed all the furniture out in the front yard, appliances and everything. So it went before the Property Standards Board, October 21st. They gave them 10 days. They are not present today for this property, and that's what it looks like now. Ooh, and I would ask that,
Dale, what can we do to,
I think Dorothy probably has a good recommendation.
yes, 10 days. We
T-Bone?
want to proceed.
what, give
Clean
us,
up of this structure.
give them 10 more days?
No,
Oh.
no.
Yeah.
They're not present. I
Okay.
would ask that you would uphold the property standards decision to proceed with the cleanup.
So moved.
Take back our
Second.
neighborhood.
Yes,
All
sir.
right, there you go. It's been moved by the chair, second by,
T-Bone.
Councilman Everson, that you always go in and clean up. Is it a little,
So we need to get together to about
well,
Chairman, did compassion run out?
yeah, packing. All right. Art's a mess, ain't it? All right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, they're the obvious.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There, you still tell Santa Claus I had a lot of passion there.
I know that lump of coal came out of
Yeah.
that one.
Art trying to bring it to, so I won't get nothing for Christmas.
What's the latest?
Okay.
September saying that we was,
Mr. Thompson, what else do we have?
I do have a clerk's report, Mr. Chairman,
I didn't want to say that because I didn't want Oliver to hear me.
but I don't think we have anything before that.
Okay.
Unless you have reports from officers, boards, and committees.
Okay. Any, I don't see Sam. Any reports? We're gonna skip the clerk's report.
No, I have something, Mr. Shine.
Oh, you got some?
I
Okay.
actually I had said he had done such a nice job with the budget
Yeah.
that I was giving him a mulligan for even next week's, so, but he's come up with some, because
Right.
he wants to impress the new guys.
There you go. That's what it
So
was.
he's trying to
The
show
Willie-
that he's like,
Right.
you know, I can tell you that's gonna lapse
Right.
very quickly
Right.
once the new year
Right.
starts.
Willie's trying to impress
Now
you,
he's
Jerry,
happy
yeah?
to get out there in front of it
Yeah.
and say, he's like, oh, prepared, and don't,
Yeah.
this is not how it goes.
There you go. You hear that, Art?
Mr. Shine, I think everybody knows, but I wanted to officially state that the swearing-in ceremony will be on the 27th at 10 a.m. They would like to have everybody participating there for 9:30. There will be a pass to park behind the facility so that you can just walk into the staging area. Also, the organizational meeting of the new council will be on the 27th at 12 noon. And I'm told that all of the new council members will have the badges and keys and garage openers and everything that they need, but the building will be open. Officers will be elected at that time, and that will be the only business, I believe, that will need to be conducted. The charter says that the chairman, vice chairman, and the clerk of council are to be elected, and I think we've also appointed the internal auditor at that time, but we'll go back and look. For the council members who are leaving the council, let me say that we have enjoyed working with each of you You've made a great contribution to the council, and we are sorry to see you go, even though we are happy to see new people come in. But if you still have city equipment, would you get it to us?
Wow.
How soon should we get it to you?
We would like to have it Monday if we could get it, but if not, before the 27th. I mean 29th.
Before the
27th.
29th?
27th.
Before the 27th? And I have another question, Chairman Shine.
Yes, ma'am.
In regards to the ethics training, and I asked this question out of your office. Since this is 2014 ethics training, and I'm going out and the new councilman is coming in, would I need to take the ethics training, or would it be wise for him to take the ethics training?
I can't answer that. Julie, can you look at that for us?
I will check to make sure, but I think each year's ethics training is for that year. So your
That's
2014 is for your service during 2014. So
I would need to take
technically
it?
you probably need
Yeah.
to.
Okay.
And then the new person needs it for,
20
now that's a good question. Do they have to take it if they?
Yeah, because the deadline is December 30th, I was told.
Right, for that 1 week that they serve, I guess.
31st?
This calendar
Well,
year.
But as far as you're concerned, we'll check and make sure though.
I mean, I don't need any fines or anything, so I mean, if I don't have to take it, I'd rather not. I mean, it's quick, but, you know, if you...
I think that's the answer, but I'll
Yeah,
check
you-
and make sure.
Yeah,
I think anybody who has served in the calendar year 2014,
Has to take it.
old or new, will have to take it.
Okay.
So for those who are current, they'll have to take it. For those who are coming in, they will have to take it as well prior to
You gotta
the
take it,
31st.
Ron, and...
Also,
Painless, you just gotta take the time to do it, but it's,
Also, we'll ask
It's not too
staff
bad.
to comment on this as well. I think also all current folks still have an additional year's worth of disclosures
Disclosure.
to do as well.
correct.
For
or is it
May,
this year?
March, or May 15th. So,
Because the disclosure covers the
We
previous
still
year.
have to take that one next year by May 15th?
we still, right, for those of us who serve this year, we'll
Financial
have to.
disclosure.
In fact, why don't we do a note to have to distribute for Monday? So everybody will have to know exactly what they'll still be obligated to do.
Because I thought I was free. Almost.
One more. Jackie, you got to call me. My computer might still be down. All right, I guess I have. Yes, sir.
My invitees to the ceremony asked me, was there any consideration given to parking?
We're waiving the,
Vision to that?
we're waiving the fee in the parking garage for the swearing in, per the mayor's direction.
Dale said that'll be his last official duty. The way.
Christmas spirit, Mr.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. And I guess I've come down so many years I've been down here, I just might come on down for the swearing in.
You'll have a seat of honor, Mr. Shine.
Mr. Thompson, that is so nice of you, because I wouldn't want to miss all of the swearing in. Okay, is it anything else? Is it anything else? Okay, council meeting adjourned.
good work.
All right.
So you got the financial disclosure and ethics training. To avoid fines.
You did the financial disclosure for like 18
Postpone.
months or 2 years.
So-